Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're arriving at our destination shortly.
Well, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wait a second. I don't care who you know. There's no other song that sounds like that song. That song is, I just fucking love that song. It gets you all pumped up for the video, and then you see me and you're like, ah, it's that fucking guy. Oh man, it's him. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the Airplane Show. My name is Greg. I'm going to be your trusted internet pilot tonight. And, you know, we do talk about some other things from time to time here on All About Aviation. As you know, sometimes we play other games. Sometimes we talk about politics. Sometimes we talk about weather. And, of course, we know what's going on in the weather right now. We got this big old bitch, Melissa. Sir, you're not very nice. She is actually being kind of nice right now to the people in Jamaica, because she hasn't made her turn yet. You can see the spaghetti line here. She's supposed to have made the turn already, and she's pretty much kind of like stalled out at the moment. So it looks like maybe just the southern end of Jamaica right now is getting hurricane force winds. It doesn't look like, Kingston, you know, and, you know, the southeast part of it is getting bad wind like they were. I mean, they're still getting wind. You know, don't get me wrong. That's still 217 knots. 217 knots. What the fuck are you talking about? We'll check out the wind here in a moment. But yeah, I mean, this eye is incredible. You know, look at just look at this hurricane. And supposedly the cloud tops are, let me see if we can look at the cloud tops. I don't have a paid subscription to this, so I don't know how well this is going to work. See here, a lot of tornado warnings. I don't think we have radar down here. All right, we'll just stick with satellite for now. When we get cloud tops, I don't know if my free version's going to really do anything. Yeah, it's not going to do much. But anyways, I mean, the cloud tops we've been seeing on this storm are incredible. It's like 50, 60,000 feet. You can see it's just kind of stalling out. Now, of course, this is only 15 minutes. You know, I only have access to 15 frames right now. I should activate my subscription again for all this. I used to have like during tornado season, I usually subscribe to all these things. Radar Omega and Radar Scope. Radar Scope's still my favorite one for tablets and phones. Radar Scope's awesome. But yeah, I mean, we can see, you know, we had this outer band here. You know, I mean, Montego Bay certainly getting it. Negril, which I think isn't Negril right here. That's such a beautiful spot, Negril. If you've never been to Negril, you need to go. That is such a beautiful. Oh my God, the sunset at Negril. Anyways, let's get this thing going here tonight. We're going to do a few things. I really have been enjoying VFR flying. Again, I don't know, since I've been doing the training, I don't know, I've been enjoying it a lot more. So I'm going to redo this bush trip. Now, I've never actually done like a bush trip on stream, like a whole bush trip. You know, I know this is like, you know, everybody's done this one, but this one is really difficult compared to the other ones because you have to use the VFR map. You don't have navigation, you know, like this plane and this plane, you have navigation, at least the VOR you could use. And then, you know, I don't remember if this plane has autopilot. I don't think this particular one does. I think that's the Cessna 152. Oh no, this one does have navigation. I stand corrected. So this one and this plane here, which I think is the Cub something. Yeah. They both have navigation, so you can just put the autopilot on and just sit back and just cruise. This one, you really got to look around and pay attention to what you're flying to. It's kind of difficult. Well, we're gonna go. I think we're jumping in a Robin 10. I think is the plane here. Abnormals. Yep, the Robin Cat 10. Let me bring up something here. I'll show. We'll look at the booklet again, and I'll do display capture this time, so we don't have to worry about me trying to get it to interact properly. VFR flight manual. All right, good. We're still sharing this. So let's go to, they're doing abnormal. So that's 49. All right. Let me make this a little bigger. Okay, initial action. So here's what, so this is like everything the guy reads out to you. 3 simple steps: aviate, navigate, communicate. That makes sense. DODAR. Are these like really acronyms that they use in real life? You know, like bum fin or something like that, whatever, base, fuel. I forget what we learned in VFR the other day, but diagnose, options, decide, assign, review. Okay. I guess this is the chart for the airport we're leaving from, Luella Espa, Sweden. Okay, so yeah, so here's our trip. So it looks like we're just kind of coming down here, and I guess we'll have some sort of issue that we need to work out. I wanted to do that one and this mountain view flying one, you know, with updrafts and downdrafts. This one, I think we're using the Beechcraft G36, I think. All right, so we're in Telluride. Interesting. All right, so this one, I think we're timing. Use conditions. Interesting. All right, very good. So yeah, let's get this going. I don't know if this is the one we're flying to, because this is not Telluride here. We have Telluride there. Maybe it's going to be 2 different parts to it. I don't know. Anyways, let's find out what the deal is, and let's get going. Let's get rolling, bitch. All right. Let's see here. Let's go X. Oh, that was the right one actually. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Let's get the game audio on. This is 3 days in a row for me. Why, man, I'm like a pig in shit right now. That's awesome. I tell you, I got like a rejuvenated sense to fly now again. Now that I'm doing these, you know, these kind of things. So, all right. You know, these trainings and things is fun again. DODAR. Diagnose, option, decide, assign, review. Oh, I gotta switch my aircraft, I think. My controls. I know I saved the camera controls. But, so the G. Actually, that might be okay.
We're flying the Cap 10 in the north of Sweden.
Okay, let's restart.
Following
No. Restart. Restart. Yes, sir. Sorry. King of restarts. All right, let's see what my friend has to say this time.
We're flying the Cap 10 in the north of Sweden, following the Luleälven River and Highway 97 towards Luleå. The time is just after 11 p.m. This is the land of the midnight sun.
You sound very excited.
Keeping 2,000 feet altitude, follow the highway, keeping it on your left.
All right, this is a fun little airplane. I haven't flown this thing in a while.
We can deal with in-flight malfunctions.
No, we don't want
When things
malfunctions.
don't go to plan, having a structured approach makes your decision-making easier.
I believe
When an
that.
incident occurs in flight, the first step is always to take a moment to correctly fly the aeroplane. Depending on what happened, this could be easy or difficult. For example, if you're straight and level and you have a radio issue, remaining straight and level would not be too difficult.
I like how we can see the gauges
Whereas a failure
and
during
the
an approach
instruments from
may
outside
require
here.
a
It's pretty dope.
go-round. As such, the very first step after an issue is to aviate. Once the flight path is under control, we navigate. We ensure that we're on a safe flight path, perhaps following a procedure, or to change our route to account for the failure. The third initial action is to
Save my position there.
If appropriate, tell
See the
ATC
gauges a
that
lot
you're
better.
encountering difficulties so they can offer assistance. Aviate, navigate, communicate. These three things performed in order will keep you safe in the short term. Now it's time to figure out what to do next. One such process for decision making is DODA. We start with diagnose. Make sure we've correctly identified exactly what has happened.
I got trim.
Then we
Why is
gather
our
our
little
options.
ball
Can we continue
all messed
as
up here? Why is this
planned,
upside
or
down?
Do we need to divert?
All the way over to the left. It shouldn't be
Next,
like
we
that.
decide on our most suitable option. Once a decision has been reached, we can assign tasks, such as informing ATC and setting our avionics. Finally, we review our decision to check if anything has changed.
Oh, the highway, like you said.
You can use DODA either flying solo or as a crew, so it has broad use and can be applied to whatever kind of flying you're doing. Carry on flying towards Lulio.
Alright, I think I see it right at the end of the river here. The one after this one, I think, is like a full flight, which that's going to be kind of cool. Hopefully, I don't know if we're going to do a cold start or if we're going to be taxiing, but you know, that would be cool if we do that. What was that? We lost our speed gauge. Diagnose, aviate.
I'm not sure what that was, but we might have hit a bird.
Ah, that's true. We could have.
Aviate. Keep us flying safely straight and level at 2,000 feet. The
Got it.
ASI's dropped to 0.
All right. Well, we're pretty close to 2,000 feet. That was a loud ass bird.
Navigate.
Good lord.
Continue to follow the road and river.
Okay. What about us redlining the RPMs right now? Do we have to worry about that?
Communicate. We don't need any immediate ATC assistance, so we won't make any radio calls just yet. Now we've completed our initial actions, we can shift our focus onto what comes next.
All right.
Diagnose. It appears to be a bird strike which has damaged the pitot tube and therefore our airspeed indication. I can see some damage down my side on the right flap. It might be worth testing it so we know what we're dealing with. Bring the speed back to what feels like slow flight.
All right. This feels pretty slow, buddy. Are we gonna put some flaps out? You need to go slower? All right, we'll go slower.
Now that we've slowed, try and set takeoff flaps.
Flaps don't work.
It's giving us roll to the right, so it looks like it was bird damage to the right flap.
Yeah, the left flaps are working. All right. What now, buddy?
Increase power and accelerate back up to what feels like normal flight speed.
Back up to 2,000. Where he said something to me. All right. Now let's just give it full juice. Take all flaps up, I guess.
Retract the flaps again now to stop the roll.
That's what I
we'll
did.
Talk about our options.
We'll land without flaps.
Options. Indicated airspeed is a crucial parameter for safe flight, so we wouldn't be likely to continue a long cross-country trip.
No, thank you.
Without our flaps, it limits the airfields we can land at, as without them we'll have a longer landing distance.
That is true.
Lulio is just up ahead and will be an ideal place to land.
Good to me.
Decide. Landing at Lulio seems like a safe option, as continuing would not be easy, plus there may be other damage we're yet to discover.
Very true.
Assign. I'll let air traffic know that we'd like to land.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Lulio Tower, Sierra Echo, Foxtrot, Sierra Alpha.
Sierra Alpha, Lulio Tower, pass your message.
Yeah, I don't know about tonight.
Sierra Alpha, Mundry Cap 10,
Tomorrow I can make
2000
them.
feet VFR at Unbin with an airspeed indication problem and no landing flaps. Request join and landing.
About 45 minutes.
Sierra Alpha, Roger, clear to join straight in for runway 14, QNH 1013.
1013
Looking tomorrow, I
straight
bought a
in,
whole bag of
runway
potatoes.
14, Sierra Alpha. Review. Alright, we can't use the flaps, but the runway here is over 3,000 meters, so landing distance is no problem at all.
And at this airport.
The challenge is going to be the increased landing speed due to lack of flaps, combined with the absence of our indicated airspeed.
True.
You'll have to use feel, sound, and experience to judge your airspeed for
Oh,
landing.
I'm very good at landing
Don't get
fast.
too slow,
This will be
as
no
you'll
problem.
risk a stall, and the runway is long enough for a fast landing. The stall warning will still work as usual, which will be your last line of defense.
Sierra Alpha, cleared to land, runway 14, wind calm.
Get us down safely.
Yeah, I know
and
you
come
like to
to a
Gouda
stop
cheese.
on the runway.
Oh, good. Alright, let me look at the chart that we got with this. So Lulia, so it looks like we're going to be landing on runway 32, so that's heading at 309. I don't see a VOR. Oops. See a VOR either. Got some cool bridges over here. Corner there. But let's get down in altitude. I'm not sure where Lulia is. Guess they'll tell us. Unless it's on this island here. Speak up, you can speak up all the time. From the, give them one counter when you're done. Alright, it should be on one of these islands, according to what the VFR map looks like. Here, I'll show you the map. We have, here's Lulia right here. Now, I don't know. I mean, isn't that the one that we just passed? Don't we need to turn around because it looks like we're heading into this area here? I wonder if we need to turn around. I don't think he said turn around, did he? Well, if he said turn around, I missed it. I think we need to turn around. See what he says on here. Doesn't say. All right, let's turn back around and see what he says. If he fails us, we'll just move to the next one. I believe that was Lulia that we were just passing over. Let's head back up this river here. Yeah, that was definitely Lulia. Let's see if we get close to the airport again, if they'll instruct us to do something. If they do, they do. If they don't, we'll move to the next airplane. Pretty good without any hands when you got it trimmed properly. Here's your time to scratch an itch. You got one. That bush trip, I'm looking forward to that because we don't have to really be at any set altitude. There's no rules. It's just take off and land. Take off and land. That's it. All right, we should be pulling back up on the airport here pretty soon. We didn't go too far past it. Thought it was coming up again. Maybe we're not landing. I thought we would have. Runway 32 approved for Cat 2 operation. Yeah, this is the right one because it's got the 3,000 meters of runway. All right, let's take a little turn this way. Oh, I think I see the runway now. I think I see it flashing up here. Ooh, can't really see the gauges. There were lights on the interior, maybe not. Alright, this airport should be coming up any moment because we have this landmass here. And according to the chart, it was right after that landmass. didn't realize that went so far down. Okay. False alarm on that runway before. Maybe this is it over here. Yeah, I think I see runway lights. That's a shame we can't really see the gauges in here. And the turn slip indicator's upside down and not working, so that hasn't worked all flight. We didn't do it or that one though. Alright, are we gonna be landing, buddy, or what? I mean, you haven't talked to me in a long time. Let's get close to the airport again and see if you'll talk to me. I kind of miss hearing your very monotone, unexcited voice. Now for our turn. Turn to a heading of 50 degrees. I think this training mission's about over. Unless I was supposed to land at that runway initially, but they didn't say anything about landing, I don't think. Yeah, and this airport should be right over here somewhere. There's a landmass right up on the top right. And according to the VFR chart, it was right after that landmass. Should be right around here. I'd hate to do it again. I mean, it's kind of a boring lesson. Might be necessary, but it's still boring. Just go up a little farther. How long have I been on for? About half an hour. Alright. Fuck it. Let's move to the next one. I mean, it doesn't say anything else on this thing. It just says, committing to these steps in memory will put you in good position to be able to deal with whatever comes. On the initial actions, diagnose, decide, assign, review. There's our chart, and it doesn't say anything else. All right, well, fine. It's just landing without flaps. We've done that before. All right, let's go back to activities. Let's do custom mountain flight. Yes. I'm looking forward to this one. I like flying through mountains. Oh, are we on the ground? Yep. All right, let me reduce the throttle then.
This is Telluride, Colorado, a high-altitude airfield surrounded by stunning mountain ranges. Mountain flying is a vast subject in its own right. We'll touch upon the basics today. You have several factors working against you when operating at high elevations. The airfield elevation here is over 9,000 feet, which brings about some significant performance implications. You lose performance from the engine as less air is available for it to breathe,
position for the pilot.
meaning a corresponding reduction in fuel flow and power. We've already leaned the mixture before departure to help optimize engine power. Next is the terrain itself. Straight ahead is
we might have to start over. I think it was
up to 13,000 feet. So we're down on performance just when we need it the most.
Leave it there. I think that's where it was.
We have a relatively light wind today of about 12 knots from the west. On flat land, this would be no problem at all, but in the mountains we need to give it serious consideration. Anything over 20 to 25 knots starts to become hazardous and may prevent our flight from going ahead, despite what might otherwise be glorious conditions. For our more moderate winds, we need to consider which side of a valley we'll fly along, as one valley wall will give useful updrafts, whilst the other side would present hazardous downdrafts. Take off from runway 09, which has a tailwind, and make an immediate right turn to follow the valley to the south.
Okay.
You'll notice right away how limited our performance is. Bring the gear up straight away, but leave the flaps extended until you've made the turn.
Okay. Park and brake on. Hey, we should open up our cow flaps. Off power set. Speed alive. Pulling back on the yoke a little bit. He's bringing it back to neutral. Set V1. One rotates.
Keep your speed up and turn south, climbing towards 10,000 feet.
Got it, buddy. A little slow on the climb, but okay. Clean the mixture a little bit more. I don't want to start this lesson over again, but if we have trouble, then we may have to, because I unleaned the fuel at first, but I think I kind of remember where it was at. No trim. Come back up. Alright, well, can we put our flaps up yet, dude? Alright, I'm putting my flaps up.
Enter the valley up ahead, flying over the east valley wall on our left side.
Okay.
The east wall is on the windward side of the slope, so this is where we'll find the updrafts.
Oh yeah, I feel it. only thing make this cooler is if we had snow. I wonder if I should lean the fuel out more. We missed where we were supposed to go? I think we missed it. Yep, we did. Shit, we got to start over. That's fine. We'll just leave it pre-mixed this time. We won't touch it. I wish I could skip the introduction again.
Colorado, a high-altitude airfield surrounded by
stunning mountain ranges. Oh wow, he had it all the way down there. Wow.
Mountain flying is a vast subject in its own right. We'll touch upon the basics today. You have several factors working against you when operating at high elevations. The airfield elevation here is over 9,000 feet, which brings about some significant performance implications. You lose performance from the engine as less air is available for it to breathe, meaning a corresponding reduction in fuel flow and power. We've already leaned the mixture before departure to help optimize engine power. Next is the terrain itself. Straight ahead is Red Mountain, which towers up to 13,000 feet. So we're down on performance just when we need it the most. We have a relatively light wind today of about 12 knots from the west. On flat land, this would be no problem at all, but in the mountains we need to give it serious consideration. Anything over 20 to 25 knots starts to become hazardous and may prevent our flight from going ahead, despite what might otherwise be glorious conditions. For our more moderate winds, we need to consider which side of a valley we'll fly along, as one valley wall will give useful updrafts, whilst the other side would present hazardous downdrafts. Take off from runway 09, which has a tailwind, and make an immediate right turn to follow the valley to the south. You'll notice right away how limited our performance is. Bring the gear up straight away, but leave the flaps extended until you've made the turn.
Takeoff power set. Airspeed alive. Releasing the yoke. Releasing the yoke. One. Rotate. Landing gear up. Turning to the south.
Keep your speed up and turn south, climbing towards 10,000 feet.
And I guess we missed this before. You said turn towards the south. I figured we were just going straight south. My bad, instructor. Well, hello. What's up, Martin? How you doing, my friend? Having a good Monday?
Autopilot off, please.
Oh, you can. Hey, okay, no problem. All right, let's put our.
Enter the valley up ahead, flying over the east valley wall on our left side. The east wall is on the windward side of the slope, so this is where we'll find the updrafts.
They caught us with the autopilot. I can't believe it. I don't blame them. They are trying to teach us. I thought I'd be slick. I'm glad we left the fuel mixture alone this time. I didn't realize they had it all the way back. Like, that's a lot. Like, I didn't realize that at first. All right, let's get back up to 10,000 feet. The right rudder. God, did we miss that valley wall again? I hope not. We fucking hang on. Let's look at this guide real quick. Because if we missed it again, I might not even continue this particular mission. That's so stupid. All right, hang on. Let me bring this up here. So, all right, mountains. So outbound. Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're following it properly. Doesn't really give us a VFR map. I don't really want to start this one again. I mean, I'll do it, but we did take off properly. Followed this valley. No, let's just give it a no. Let's restart one more time. Let's restart this thing one last time, and if we get the same thing, then we'll just move on to do something else. We'll do the next lesson. We'll do the navigation one. All right, let me pull the throttle back. All right, let's restart one last time. But I know if we miss those points of interest, that they're not going to continue. Like, we have to follow everything they say without the autopilot. That's funny that they said turn your autopilot off. All right, I want to match where this is at right now.
Telluride, Colorado. A high
That's
altitude
down by
airfield surrounded by stunning mountain ranges. Mountain flying is a vast subject in its own right. We'll touch upon the basics today. You have several factors working against you when operating at high elevations. The airfield elevation here is over 9,000 feet, which brings about some significant
you can at least put the flight director
implications. You lose performance from the engine as less air is available for it to breathe, meaning a corresponding reduction in fuel flow and power.
That's right.
We've already leaned the mixture before departure to help optimize engine power. Next is the terrain itself. Straight ahead is Red Mountain, which towers up to 13,000 feet. So we're down on performance just when we need it the most. We have a relatively light wind today of about 12 knots.
Take our brakes off for now.
On flat land, this would be no
We'll use the
problem
rudder.
at all.
We'll use the
mountains,
foot brakes to hold everything.
Consideration. Anything over 20 to 25 knots starts
We gotta follow this mountain here.
And may
That's what we did.
our flight from going ahead, despite what might otherwise be glorious conditions. For our more moderate winds, we need to consider which side of a valley we'll fly along, as one valley wall will give useful updrafts, whilst the other side would present hazardous
Whilst.
downdrafts. Take off from runway 09, which has a tailwind, and make an immediate right turn to follow the valley to the south.
Right.
You'll notice right away how limited our performance is. Bring the gear up straight away, but leave the flaps extended until you've made the turn.
Okay. Say so. Take off power set, buddy. Airspeed's alive. Around 60 knots, we'll start releasing the yoke. Start releasing the yoke. One. Rotates. You're up.
Keep your speed up and turn south, climbing towards 10,000 feet.
Alright, so we're going to aim right for this valley wall. Hopefully that'll be sufficient for them. Probably climbing a little too fast, but I just want to get up to 10,000 feet. And we'll put our flaps up once we level off and our speed gets up a little bit. Alright, let's see here. Flaps up.
Enter the valley up ahead, flying over the east valley wall on our left side. The east wall is on the windward side of the slope, so this is where we'll find the updrafts.
Got it. Yeah, I don't like that that still says valley wall behind us. Hopefully when we pass this one, we'll be okay. If not, then maybe it's broken. Because it shouldn't continue to have those points of interest there. Alright, let's continue to follow this valley here and see what happens. We'll give it a couple of minutes through here, and if nothing happens, then we'll just move on to the navigator one. No, let's just continue to follow this valley for a minute. See if he says anything. High. Maybe they're gonna have us turn around. I thought I remembered seeing something that looked like we turned around, so maybe we just got to continue to follow this and then turn around. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. We have this part here. I wonder if we're gonna like make a big turn and then come back towards Telluride, because I mean that's all it shows here is, I mean, we took off properly. You know, we're following the mountain. So I don't know. Here's the two valley things. I think that those points of interest, I think, are these green and red arrows. So, oh, maybe we do go down and then we go around and we come back. Okay, well, maybe we just didn't give it enough time. Let's give it a little more time. I mean, I don't mind flying through mountains. Kind of fun, actually. As long as my trim is working properly. This trim wheel, man, is very touchy. Right, we got to get down altitude a little bit. Hey, this could be the little lake that we make a circle at. Alright, and it looked like in that map we just looked at just now that we're going this way. So let's continue this way. Nope, nothing yet. Well, let's just continue to go for a minute. Let's just continue following this valley and seeing what happens. So I don't see any bodies of water coming up though. Oh yeah, this shit is busted. Alright, fuck this. Alright, let's go to the one navigator one, and then we'll do one of those. And we'll get to the VFR trip. Alright, so we did stepping stones, now we need to watch the clock. I think I actually have a clock on here. Let me see here. Yeah, sure do. I mean, chronometer. Sweet, I do have one. All right, very good. Cessna 152. Let me set this up for the Cessna 152. Let me go back to controls. Set this for... All right. Watching the clock. Here, let's check this one out real quick. 30 minutes. Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was so long. All right. I don't, you know what? Actually, I don't think I have this one. So let's, how long have I been on for? About an hour. Yeah, we'll save this one for another night. Let's start our bush trip. Let's see here. Back. Trips. Breckenridge. It's a fun trip. I did everything but the very last part of it. It was the Mariposa Yosemite I never made my way to, but I had one more stop left. Let me change the setup for 6. Apply and save. All right, so we need this one, and we need avlog. Right, navlog. We are going from... Welcome to Bakersfield, California. Your first stop on this tour. You know, I wonder if I can set up a button for the navlog. Hang on a second. Let me see here. Oh, I set one for the VFR map. See if we can set one for I would be under miscellaneous. Yeah, display navlog. There we go. Do stick button 2 sign. The front of this, if you're not familiar with this Turtle Beach system, it's got like all the Xbox buttons on the front. A, B, X, Y, the big X, you know, from Xbox. Very good. So that brings that up. Wait, I don't want the line. Why is it doing that? Since when did they start doing that? I don't want that. Oh, that sucks, man. Oh. Let me go back to the main screen real quick. I don't want it to have that. I want it to help us get there. I want to be able to do everything. See if I can just restart it. I don't think I can. We're still going to do it. But, man, that sucks. I don't want there to be any help on the map. I just want it to show us. Show us where we're taking off, you know, show us where we're taking off from. That was one of the best things about it, because you had to, like, continually reload the VFR map so it would update your position. But I don't want it to have a line and help us get there. That's stupid. That must be one of Microsoft's dumb updates they've done over the years. All right, let's try this one. Let's do this again. Okay. Push trip. Now, you know, maybe because we've already done it, maybe that's why. This activity relies on visual flight and there's best online mode to ensure accurate. Yeah, I know, I'm online, I think. I think I am. Let me see. Nope. Alright, let me put myself online. I am online. Oh, I'm just not on for multiplayer. Alright, that's fine. Alright, let's try this again. That really sucks that the VFR map. I guess we don't have to use it, but I wanted to use it so I could show you guys how to actually use it properly. Alright, let's do it again. It sucks. I am really upset about that. That bothers me. Maybe because we already completed that part of the trip. Maybe that's why it's showing, you know, that white line there. Like maybe if we did the very last leg, it wouldn't show it. But man, that sucks. Part of the fun of this was reading the description of like where you're flying to. And then you go, first stop on this tour on your way north along the stretch of the road. Eventually your path will intersect with the State Route 178 highway leading you northeast towards Sierra Nevada mountains on the path of Kern River. Right, so we need to get up and get to the Kern River, which looks like it's up here. You know, for a long time I didn't realize that was like the boundaries, like the airspace. I thought it was train tracks for the longest time. I was like, hey man, there's no tracks there. Like it took me a minute to figure that out. All right, well let's get rid of the VFR map. Fuck man, that sucks. Alright, so stop on this tour, American Sierra. Alright, so we're gonna head on a heading of 14 for about 3.7 minutes. Parking brakes off. I don't think it has a parking brake. And controls work. And it looks like we have 270, 80, it's about 286. The button's not working. Hang on a second. Oh, I never set a button for it. Save position and set you. I thought I set this already. 3, and then button 7 is behind us. Okay, very good. And then we have our pilot. Okay, very good. I can be going the VFR map here, and nav log is the other button. All right, let's get out of here. He's alive. Heading of 114. That's what they said. Yeah, heading of 14. All right, let's see here. Eventually your path will intersect State Route 178. And we got to find a bridge, the Longay Bridge, fly above the Kern River. Alright, I believe here, I believe the river is coming up here. Alright, I believe here's State Route 178. Fly above the Kern River as it carves through a chasm between two mountains, forming the mouth of Kern Canyon, even as the highway below takes a divergent path. Soon enough to be a reunited, modest bridge. Okay, very good. Okay. I think we're going to head right through this valley coming up here. Alright, here's Highway 178. And the Kern River should be cutting through the mountain if I remember right. Oh shit. I hate when the trim does that. As soon as you touch it, like the first time you're in an airplane, like if I was to get back in this airplane later today, I probably wouldn't do it. But now, like I touch it, you touch it just one little touch, and it like goes, or in our case, it like shoots straight up in the air. Alright, rivers on our left, roads right above us, I mean below us. I've never really used the timer on here, even like when I was like doing these bush trips, like it was when I was really into them. There was one point in time where I would do bush trips like every day. I've completed almost every bush trip on the Xbox. Yeah, for a long time. I mean, I think I've done just about every bush trip, because every time there was a pack that came out for scenery, there was usually a bush trip that came with it. Sometimes 2 or 3 bush trips. One of my favorite ones is there's one over the Alps. It takes you like over Innsbruck, stuff like that, and then there's also one that takes you through the French Alps, and some of those landing spots in the French Alps is nuts. Like, it's freaking crazy. Like, you land on like a little grass strip on the side of a mountain. That one took a long time to figure out how to do. I didn't realize we were overspeeding. Yeah, that one I redid that one probably 8 or 10 times before I could actually land the airplane on that strip. I would get close to landing it, but you had to kind of come in on an angle, like really flare it, come in at an angle, because the mountain was like sloped a certain way. I forget if it was sloped up or down, but it was sloped. But actually, it went down then up, I think. When you land, you kind of like land kind of coming down, like if you're landing at what's the one in the Caribbean? Not St. Martin, the other one, St. Bart's. You know, when you come down St. Bart's, it's kind of like downhill a little bit, but this one went downhill and then right back uphill. Crazy. All right, I think we're going the right way. Oh, well, that's good. At least it doesn't show us, you know what? Maybe it had the line the whole time. Maybe so. But one thing, you know, if you close it and then bring it back up, it usually like centers right where your airplane is. So if you have the line in the middle or close to it, you know you're kind of going the right way. All right, this one we should be on a heading of about 42, so that's roughly what we're doing now. All right, fly above the Kern River as it carves through a chasm between 2 mountains, forming the mouth and Kern Canyon. Well, I really do speak English well most of the time. Even as the highway below takes a divergent path, soon enough you'll be reunited when the road bends back into view and a modest bridge carries it across the... All right. And then from there, we need to head on a heading of 50. Yeah, this airplane, there's not much to it. It's just throttle and that's it. You don't have to worry about mixture. Man, this looks so good. The one in Alaska is one of my favorite bush trips. The one in, well, actually it's called Unalaska. Yeah, there is a part of Alaska called Unalaska. Yeah, but the part in Unalaska, that bush trip is awesome. Here's our river right on our right, by the way. So we are going proper. The hard part for me sometimes on these bush trips, especially on this one, is sometimes finding the runway, man. Sometimes, like, I had to use like YouTube and Google help back when I first started doing these. It's a nice little airplane. I don't know how, you know, it is in real life, but in the simulator, it's pretty responsive. Got a good amount of power. Easy to see out of. I mean, great. We're just going to follow this canyon. And then when I do bush trips, I try to stick, you know, like within 1,000 feet of the ground is always kind of my goal, no matter what kind of bush trip I'm doing. Because bush trips, you're supposed to fly low to the ground. I know you probably wouldn't do this in real life, but this is not real life. This is the Matrix. That's why we can run our engine as high as we're doing it now, and our airspeed, and, you know, our wings aren't being ripped off the fuselage. Yeah, maybe it had that line the whole time. Maybe I was tripping. It's been, like I said, it's been a long time since I've done these bush trips, so it's a good possibility. Oh, and if you're having a problem with like these planes continuing to climb and you don't want to mess with your trim, just reduce the power a little bit. And when you reduce the power, it'll put the nose down a little bit. And when you give it power, it'll bring the nose back up a little bit. See, watch, I'm going to give it some more power now and watch how we'll start climbing. Like, I'm not even touching, you know, the controls. You see how we're starting to climb a little bit? And once we get to the mouth of the river, we need to head on a heading of 30, I believe. Once we get to the bridge, continue tracking the Kern River along all its twists and turns, past rugged trailheads and remote campgrounds, natural hot springs, and a century-old hydroelectric plant. You will find a sharp bend in the river that leads to a second roadway bridge. All right, so the Delonga Bridge, we're going to get to that here probably in a moment. And we got about 3 minutes, 15 seconds or so to go about 5 miles on a heading of 50, roughly. Yeah, I thought about talking about news and shit today, but you know what? I decided not to. There is a lot of stuff going on in the news. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow night. I've never really been into like the podcast kind of thing. I've always tried to play, you know, I definitely know how I lean on every subject, but I don't always make it known for reasons. You know, I don't really think it's important, you know, to what I do online, but you know, nowadays, I mean, you need to start speaking up about some of this crazy shit that's going on nowadays. You know, judges blocking ICE officers from doing their job. You know, mayors and governors saying that Trump can come and arrest them. You know, they're not complying. That shit is wild. You know, I mean, all he's doing is just trying to get criminals out of the country. Yes, I feel bad if they have kids in the country, you know, but just because the kid's a citizen doesn't give them the right to have the parents stay. I mean, like, if the parents are, I don't know how that works, like if parents get here illegally and then they have a kid, I know the kid is legal, like, I don't think that does anything to the parents. So yeah, at that point, if they, you know, give the kid an option, you can stay in this country, or you know what I would do, I would let them go back home if they want to, you know, give the parents the option. Parents want to take the kid back home, take the kid back home. And then when the kid turns 18, whoa, look at that hill. I don't think that's like that in real life. When the kid turns 18, if he wants to come back to America, let him come back to America. You know, he's a citizen, he can come back. But just because he's a citizen doesn't make his parents a citizen. That shit is wild. The problem is that we've let so many illegal aliens in this country. You know, I've seen studies, you know, and people talking that look, there could be upwards of 50 million illegal aliens in this country who drive vehicles. Like, there was a huge accident in California this past week. It was a truck driver. Motherfucker's got a CDL license and he's an illegal alien. How does that happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that happen? That's one thing with this game I wish that they would fix, is like some of these like lumps and shit like that. You ever get one of those lumps at an airport? Shit, I remember I was at the Las Vegas International Airport trying to taxi to the runway, and there was a huge ass pothole. It like swallowed up the airplane. I think that was the first time I ever used slew mode. Was in that was on that taxi. That shit was wild. Like, we fell in this huge pothole. Alright, let's climb just a little bit. Oh, actually, we don't need to climb. Yeah, maybe I might watch tonight when I go upstairs. I've been watching a lot of the Wendy Adelson trial, like her brother and her mom that got put in jail. I think Wendy should be in jail too. There's no way she didn't know about, you know, her you know, the husband being killed. But I watched the original Transformers recently, and I forgot how good of a movie that actually. I got like Omar Epps in it. Josh Duhamel was pretty good in the movie. I like John Voight. I like Anthony Edwards. Shia LaBeouf is tolerable. I like his parents. Megan Fox, you know, you can mute every scene when she's on. Other than that, like I didn't really think Megan Fox is like that good looking of a woman. She looked good in that movie, but you really could have cut her head off and just put any head on that body, and it would have been the same reaction. I think back then, I think Jamie Presley should have done that movie back then. I don't think she had the opportunity to do it, but I think back then, Jamie Presley would have been great. Yeah, her and Joe Dirt. Is she in Joe? Yeah, she's in Joe Dirt. And then those twins. I forget those blonde twins. They were banging hot like 20, 30 years ago. I'll have to find out who they were, but they're in movies. I forget who they married. They married some guy. I don't know if he's an actor or an entertainer. I forget. All right, we should be coming up to a bridge here pretty soon. I know I've been running my mouth a lot, but we've been following the chasms. And the line's still in the middle, so that's good. If I would have timed it, maybe I would have known. But it says we just got to continue to follow. Continue tracking the Kern River along its twists and turns past the rugged trailheads and remote campgrounds. We're going to see an old hydroelectric plant, and we'll find a sharp bend in the river that leads to a second roadway bridge. So maybe the bridge is coming up here. And we got the road and the river. I could have sworn at one point in the instructions they said the road cuts away, but all right. Oh, maybe that's the bridge right there. I thought they used to show pictures of these items here. All right, I think that's it. So we gotta head on a 50 degree. We're gonna continue to follow the river as it says. But whichever way the river goes is how we're gonna go. What's it, 9 o'clock? We got I'm looking at how long I've been streaming for. So it's 1:18. We got about 3 minutes. For the next instructions, if that was the bridge. All right. River is still right underneath of us. I think I can mess with the graphics here. I want to turn this shit up a little bit, but I think I have everything kind of maxed out. Yeah, ultra, high. Motion blur me. Yeah, I mean, everything's on high and ultra, so it's fine. But I also use, what's it called? Auto FPS. That thing is so helpful. You know, if you're running on PC and you've been having issues, oh, here could be the bridge that they're talking about here. Yeah, I could have sworn in these bush trips they used to show you a picture of the, or maybe it's a picture of the airport actually. I bet you there's a picture of the airport. Let me see. Yeah, okay, that's what they showed a picture of. I knew there was a picture somewhere. All right, so let's continue up until we see another bridge. Like I said, that's about 3 minutes. Past the town during California into the heart of the Kern River Valley, Lake Isabella. All right, so there's the lake. That's what we're on now on 24. And then from there, we're going to head 70. I wonder where the hydroelectric plant is then. Did we miss it already? I didn't think there would be like enough like water to, you know, power a hydroelectric plant around here. From the shore of the massive man-made reservoir, follow the curves of Lake Isabella to the east. In the distance you'll find mouth of another river feeding the lake. This is South Fork Kern River, and it's waiting to lead you further. Okay, so we'll get up here, we'll find the mouth of South Fork Kern River, and then we'll head 70, and that's about 3 minutes and 20 some seconds roughly. Just use the trim right now to keep it level. I've been watching a lot of Cooking with the Blues lately. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. There's a chef called Jack. It was Jack something, but he called himself Daddy Jack. But yeah, he's got a cooking channel called Cooking with the Blues. He's passed away now, but one I like because he reminds me of my dad. Like he looks kind of like how my dad used to look. My dad died. Wow, it's been almost 6 years now. God damn, that's been a long time. It's crazy, it's been that long. But yeah, but I like his recipes a lot. There was one recipe I wanted to make this week. I forgot to buy the ingredients for it. I've been on a diet, which I've actually been losing a fair amount of weight. Still eating good, just making better choices on food, not eating out. Cooking almost everything here from scratch, which I'm kind of cool with because I used to be, I was trained to be a chef at one point. It's very time consuming cooking. That's part of the reason why I was kind of late getting started here today, because I wanted to make, I make these burritos that I usually eat for lunch, sometimes dinner, but it's got cooked cabbage, carrots, parsley, cilantro, usually some garlic, black beans cooked, down so they're like, they're not crunchy, they're cooked like 7 or 8 minutes in a saute pan. I usually make 6 eggs, but I deglaze the pan because with the beans I put like chives and some seasoning and garlic in it, and I deglaze it with a little white wine. In the cabbage I usually put a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of light salt soy sauce. Yeah, and then I in the pan with the beans, I take the beans out, and then I put the eggs in that pan, so the eggs get all the flavor of everything that's on that pan, because there's a lot of goodness. When you got stuff stuck on a pan like that, man, that's some goodness right there. And then I usually weigh everything out. I put a certain amount of cheese in it. I use this really good salsa that I like, this black bean and corn salsa from Desert Pepper, I think is the name of the company. Yeah, I use one of their lids as a coaster for my drinks when I'm working. It's a perfect size for a 20-ounce bottle. It fits right in there. Yeah, I usually use these low-carb option wraps. They didn't really have the one I wanted today, so I bought these spinach and herb ones, which is just as good, but they're not as big as the ones I usually get. Alright, the South Fork Kern flows past several small flathead towns, so we're gonna hope we're going the right way. I don't see the mouth of a river. Here, might have to turn around. Oh no, we're going okay. Alright. Yeah, I've been making, sometimes I make these stuffed peppers, which are really good. I got a really good recipe for stuffed peppers, and make a homemade marinara sauce to go with it. I've been buying this shredded chicken I've been using for dinner. I cook it up but I've been forcing myself to eat a lot of foods that I wouldn't have typically eaten. Like, I buy cucumbers now, and I'll eat like a third of a cucumber like every day, because it's healthy for you. I eat like a couple of apples a day. I eat 1 or 2 bananas a day. I usually eat a fair amount of cabbage. You know, so I mean, I try to. Now I still have an affiliation, fascination, addiction, whatever you want to call it, to spicy nacho, really any kind of Doritos, but it's typically spicy nacho Doritos. I still have a hard time putting those down. Get a little lower, I think. All right. Several small flathead towns. Eventually, we're going to be heading a little bit more to the northeast. Okay, so let's keep on following until we get close to the mountains. We might have to circle. You know, like I said, I try to stay close to the ground on these things. But we have some mountains coming up, it looks like. And we can see that on the VFR map, too, if we put the ISO lines on. Here's the river they're talking about here, how it goes up. And we have all of these mountains here. You know, all these black lines are like the mountain ridges. And like the ridges here. There's the river right underneath of us. So as the river goes away, we're going to continue. So we get to this one point, and at some point we're going to have to make a turn south. Eventually leading to Riverside Community, bordered by 2 rocky outcrops. A wide open invitation back into the Sierra Nevada Mountain Pass. So here's where we make that big turn, Freeman Junction. And we'll be at Inyakern Airport. Oh, in World War II, it was a bustling warfare center. That's cool. I think these are the runways right here. It doesn't really matter which runway you land on either. You just have to stop on one of them. South Fork Kern River flows past several small towns. Alright, so here's the towns coming up, I'm guessing. I wish I could print these off. I don't have to have them on the screen. This must be the wide opening invitation or whatever it's talking about. Let the river lead away until it begins bending north into the mountains. It's there you'll find State Route 178 again. Follow the highway as it bends around a long stretch of cliffside and runs off in a southeasterly direction. Okay. All right, so we're just going to keep. So we keep following. Essentially, we keep following this river in front of us until it bends to the north, and then from there we pick up the Highway 178. I'm scared to close this out all the way because I think when I do that, it's gonna like it's, you know, I've been closing each option, you know, each task as we're done. I think if I close that screen out now and I bring it back up, it's gonna open them all back up again. I'm just not sure if I'm gonna have to climb anymore. See, I don't recall if I'm gonna be able to kind of keep it this close to the ground, or if I'm gonna have to climb up over top of the mountains. I think we're gonna be okay. Can't wait to get track IR. That's like next on my list of things to get. Alright, let's keep the river on our left. We can see it, like they talked about in VFR training. And once we see it bend up to the north, we're going to continue following State Highway 178. I think 178's on our right. I think this is the intersection here that they're talking about, where we continue to follow the highway. We can see the river still a little bit, but it looks like it's getting ready to bend to the north. There's the highway there. So according to this, we're going to continue on about a 66, or 51 actually. 51 for about 4 miles. I mean, for about 4 minutes. All right, river's still down there. There's 178 there. I think this is where it's going to bend northwards. The river bending northwards, and I think this is where we're going to continue. Highway 178. Looks like it's going to go around the bend here. See it on our right here. Keep it on our right hand side. Yep, bending. So from here it should be about 4 minutes, so it's about 1:37 on the clock there. Follow the highway as it bends around a long stretch. Runs off in a southeasterly direction. Alright, so we just kind of follow this road until it bends off into the southeast. I do think I need to climb a little bit though. Much as I want to stay close to the ground, I have a feeling that I have to climb. I'm okay with climbing. I try to stay as close to the ground. I just talked about this a few minutes ago. I try to stay within like 1,000 feet of the ground when I'm doing these trips. Bush trip, you're supposed to stay close to the ground. At least that's what it said. Like when I first started doing these bush trips, that's like what the instruction said. I said the ideal altitude, ideal height. This height is altitude over the ground you're on. Yeah, so height of about 1,000 feet is what they recommended. Some more power. We still have the highway on our right here. It's a shame this is in California and Nevada. Like, I don't really like those states because of the laws that they have there, and how, you know, they really should just succeed and become their own country. You know what I mean? Take part of Oregon, let the other part of Oregon, I'm sorry, is it Oregon or Seattle? Oregon. It's Oregon. Yeah. Take that part of Oregon that doesn't want to be a part of Oregon anymore, that wants to join Idaho. Let them branch off and join Idaho, so now it'd be Greater Idaho. You know, and in California, Oregon, Nevada, if Nevada wants to, they should, and Washington, just form your own country. Just get out of America already. None of you guys, I mean, if you guys continually let, well, hang on a second, it's the southeast. It's relatively straight shot. Continuing Highway 178. Okay. Let's continue to follow the road. Are we turning the 121 now? I think we are. Yeah, I mean, you know, you let your cities burn. Was it the Summer of Love when that guy from CNN, I think it was like, oh no, nothing's wrong here. And like, you know, the gas station's on fire behind them. You let people take over a whole, like, 2 or 3 blocks of the city. Hey, what's up, dude? How you doing? Then in Oregon, you guys let people continually, you know, firebomb federal buildings. Well, no wonder the government's trying to send in troops. It's a federal building. If it was a state building, they probably wouldn't be sending people in. What's going on, Average Geek? How you doing, my brother? Everything been good? We're just enjoying VFR flying. I always liked this California trip, though, but now that I have an actual yoke and setup now, I want to start. I want to do this bush trip again. This one's fun. Oh, I know that feeling, man. Sorry you're not feeling well. Hopefully it's nothing major like the flu or pneumonia, but or depression. I know a lot of people don't feel good this time of year. It's tough for people sometimes with depression and things like that. I get depressed, man. I'm human like everybody else. Hopefully you're feeling better soon. Whatever's wrong with you. All right, we got to give it a little more juice because looks like we're gonna have to climb a little bit. All right, so we're doing this one now. Oh, we're pretty close to the end here. That's pretty cool. I don't think I'm gonna have time to do the next one tonight. I think the next one's like 35 minutes. I think each one of these legs is like 35 minutes. Yeah, today for some reason. Ooh. I eat edibles all the time. I don't think I've ever had one laced. I usually buy mine from a store. I don't know if they're legal in wherever you live. I don't know where the hell you live, but yeah, man. Sometimes those edibles are dosed with stuff that, yeah. Hopefully that numbness wears off soon. I ate an edible a few months back. I didn't realize it was a sativa one, and with my anxiety, if I ingest anything sativa, usually like my anxiety goes into overdrive, and I didn't realize this edible was sativa, and like all of a sudden I started sweating, and like I was super fucking anxious. I did wind up quitting vaping that night. That was I guess it was back in February now, so that was a long time ago. But I haven't vaped since February. I mean, I smoke weed a little bit here and there. I hit a bowl a couple of times here and there. I do usually eat edibles on a regular, though. Edibles calm me down quite a bit for work. Oh, man. That's crazy. A mystery. I've never heard of a mystery mushroom gummy. I've never had a mushroom gummy before. Mushrooms are fun. I used to eat mushrooms when I was like my teens and in my early 20s. I had a couple of good friends back then. We'd actually go to a lot of concerts together and eat mushrooms at the concert, and just we did that with Santana back in the day. We've done it with Fish quite a few times. Rusted Root when they were, a thing back in, the early mid-90s. Thankfully, they're not a thing anymore. They had that one stupid song that we all loved 30 years ago. The Women I'm Away. Whatever the fuck that song is. I would like to blah, 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 blah. Anyways. Alright, so we need to look for 178 where it meets 14. That's got to be coming up, and then we're going to turn northeast with arid desolation gives way to a small town built around a large airfield. In World War II, in Yokern Airport was a bustling warfare center for the U.S. Navy. Now its lengthy runways welcome you. Touchdown and complete the first leg of your journey. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I can understand why you call it a mystery. I used to have a shirt. I forget the oil brand that it was taken. I think it was the old Valvoline symbol, and it said psilocybin and something or something under it. It was one of my favorite shirts, man. Man, I wish I still had that shirt. I don't think I'd fit into it now, but I at least like to look at it. Man, yeah. I used to be really big into mushrooms and stuff like that. I'd have, when I was growing up, I had all kinds of like those posters that when you put a black light on, they'd glow, you know, a certain way. I was always burning incense. I had like little mushrooms all over the place. 3 days. Oh shit. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you might have to go see a doctor. I hope you don't. But yeah, 3 days. Let's descend because we're a little higher than I want to be right now. Dude, that's crazy, dude. Let's put on our landing lights also, even though we don't really need to. Yeah, 3 days. You might that might be a little much now. You might need to go to the doctor. I've never had a experience like that where I shouldn't say that. Back in Maryland, before weed was legal, like 15 years ago or so, I used to go to there was a gas station near my house. There was a gas station near my house, and they would sell like that synthetic weed. Oh my god, like that shit. It was almost like smoking bath salts. Like it was crazy, like the highs that I would get off of that. They were really like, it wasn't enjoyable most of the time. Yeah, I've never heard anybody going numb from a mystery mushroom, but I don't know, maybe they had some sort of numbing agent in there, and that's wild though, man. I wonder if it's doing something to like one of your like receptors, you know, like I don't know, it's weird. That's crazy that you can like hit your leg and like scratch it, you can't feel anything. That's gotta be weird. Can you still like walk? Like you can walk and shit, you just can't feel like the nut. That's wild, man. Or sorry to hear that. Yeah, I was big into smoking weed and mushrooms, and every once in a while LSD. We used to love doing whippets too, my friends and I, man. We would get, there was a kitchen store near where I was growing up, and they would sell like those little nitrous containers, like so you could make whipped cream at home. Like in those, they used to have a container that you would crack it into, and it was like, and it would like freeze the cream instantly. So. But yeah, we were big into those whippets. Those things were fun. Remember when I saw fish one time? I had a lawn chair and I had a whippet container, and I just had like a almost like a you know, like a bandolier. I think, is that what they're called? Like bandolier. Thank you. I think that's from Red Dead 2. I think I remember that bandolier. But instead of it having like ammo, I had like nitrous containers, like those little whippets. But yeah, what a fun time that was back then. I'd love to be able to jump in a time machine and just, I wouldn't say relive it, but like, you know, maybe just for a couple of days. All right, so here's the junction, I believe we need to head on to 37 now. And we just need to look for our airport, which should be about 3 minutes away. So that's 1:45 now, so we got about 1:48, I think is 3 minutes. Yeah, about 3 minutes. Should be up here somewhere. Near the mountains back. Near the mountains back here. Looks like there's a little town, some roads, and then that. At least this one seems like it should be easy to find. There's a lot of these runways on this particular bush trip where it's just like a dirt road. Like, yeah. A couple of times, like I said in the past, a couple of times I had to search Google for help. What? That's crazy about your tongue, dude. Man, yeah, you might need to go see somebody, man. Hopefully, it's been 3 days. Hopefully, you know, maybe tomorrow when you wake up, you'll be back to normal. That's crazy, dude. That's fucked up. I'm not really laughing at you, but, you know, because the situation sucks, man. That's kind of funny. Hopefully, you'll be okay, and it's something you can look back at later in life and kind of laugh about it. I certainly would stay away from maybe taking those mystery mushroom edibles again. I really like, there's CBD I take every day just because it's good for you, but it's one of the gummies that I usually eat. It's got this CBG stuff in it. And I mean, those gummies are pretty good. They're these RSO grape indica gummies. And those things hit so quick. I think this is the airport right here. They usually hit within an hour. Alright, if we learned anything from our lessons, we need to come in on the dead leg. Yeah, here's our airport right here. So let's enter the pattern. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be okay at some point. I mean, I would certainly hope so. I hope you're going to be okay. That's crazy though, man. Was it like even a good high? Like, were the effects okay before? You know, before like you went numb? Like, was it at least kind of fun for a little bit? That would suck, like if the effects hit you and it just like sucked the whole time. like it was just, I've had those before where I've had like a really bad trip. I don't think I've ever had a bad high, but I definitely had some bad trips before. Right, there's our runway there. We're gonna capture. Let's go out a little bit. I don't really know what altitude we're at. I don't think I have an altitude reading for above ground. We just have above sea level. Yeah, I forget how many layers of flaps we have. Oh, gas gauge. Interesting. All right, we're gonna go out a little bit farther and then turn around. Give ourselves a little bit of a... Yeah, we need a little bit farther. Let's go out for like another minute. So it's 1:49:30 now. Let me continue until it says 1:50:30. The clock on how long I'm in streaming for. Yeah, I'm very happy that weed is legal in Maryland now. We used to grow it actually. This restaurant I worked at when I was growing up. Oh, after 20 minutes. Oh, holy shit. That's quick for a gummy, man. That's crazy. I wonder if the chemicals between the two different gummies is what happened. That's crazy. Saturday, yeah, well, yeah, it's been 3 days. Dude, you might have to go to a doctor. I'm sure you don't want to go to one. I mean, nobody really wants to go to a doctor, but... Alright, we can turn around now. I don't really know the heading of the runway, but we'll visually capture it and land. Hopefully land. Alright, flaps 1. Yeah, that's crazy that it reached the blood-brain barrier. Yeah, that quickly. That's wild, man. As I'm saying, like usually like the gummies I eat, like those THC ones, the RSO ones hit a little quicker. That's usually like in an hour, maybe just over an hour. Most of the gummies that I eat, they usually take like 2 hours for the effects. In York Airport, yellow Fox leader coming in for full stop. Coming in for a full stop. I don't really know how many layers, like I said, how many, I call it layers, but how many, you know, clicks the flaps are. I'll have to do that before I take off next time. Figure out how many levels of flaps we have. But dude, hopefully you'll start feeling better. But yeah, I would definitely go to a doctor, or at least go to an emergency room, or like, you know, one of those. Well, you could always go to one, you know, if there's a shop near you that sells, you know, gummies and sells weed and shit like that, or even vape shops. Like I know vape shops near my house, they have that stuff too. My throat being numb? No, I don't get any numbness out of anything I do. But I know what I'm taking, or at least it's on the label for everything that I take. So I'm not like in a situation where I'm kind of curious about what's in it. I already know based on the label what should be in it. But no, I've never had that. At least not in recent years. I mean, maybe years ago I had something like that. You know, when I was smoking and eating mushrooms and dropping acid, but I don't think I've ever had a numbness in my throat. Go to one, you can go to one of the, like I said, like I know near me, like vape shops, you know, or shops that sell them. Maybe they'll know what to do, but you might have to go to one of those urgent care places tomorrow if it doesn't, you know, if it's not getting better. You know, one of those emergency clinics if you don't want to go to an ER. This looks like this area should be out in GTA 5. It looks like one of the airports that Trevor would have landed at. I wonder if they modeled that out of a real airport. I know that one was closer to mountains and closer to the river, but still fairly similar to the way this one looks. I always like those flight missions in GTA 5. The drug missions where you're like running drugs. Yeah, that's a good idea. Go into urgent care if it doesn't clear up. Because I think if it doesn't clear up in 3 or 4 days, I mean, yeah, you probably got something going on. Take it. I always got to be careful putting the brakes on these kind of planes because I don't want the nose to pitch forward, so you got to pull the yoke back. Excellent. That was fun, man. Can't wait to do the next one. Yeah, what's the next one? Go back to I know when you continue, you like in some of the newer bush trips, it'll save the amount of fuel. And some, like I know some of the newer ones, you have to actually like refuel the airplane. And yeah, let's see how long. I don't think I'm gonna do the next one tonight. I want to eat dinner and get upstairs and chill because I have to work tomorrow. Fuck. Why can't I just hit the lottery and just play games all day? Dear Lord, if you exist, the numbers I've been playing for the last 6 years now, let them motherfuckers come out tonight. At least let me hit 1 million so I can quit work. Amen. Oh, but P.S. But if you see fit, to give me all 5 numbers plus the mega Powerball, I will give you tithings accordingly. Amen. Yeah, let's see how long the next one is. It's only 19 minutes. Now this first one was, oh, okay, never mind. 20 minutes. Nah, we'll save it for another time. We'll do it tomorrow. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow and do it. All right, I'm gonna sign off here tonight. I'm gonna go eat dinner and get ready for tomorrow. But there's a good chance I'll be back tomorrow. I mean, I found a way to set everything up quickly, so it's not as much of a headache as it was. I'm not saying it was a headache setting up, but it kind of was. But I've made it easier now, so it should be at least easier for me. Which, if it's easier for me to set up, I'm more apt to actually want to do it. So hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow, and have a good Tuesday. And Average, I hope you feel better, man. It was good catching up with you, and I guess that's about it. Hopefully the music works this time on the outro. And hit like and subscribe and follow. See you next time on the next episode of the Airplane Show. See ya.